Is we live? Let's see, is we live, honey? Live. My internet is so dilapidated today, honey. She on her special needs-ish today. Let me see if I'm live. Okay, so we started 1 minute ago. Let me see what she giving. Hold on, you guys. Hold on. Trying to get my visual in order. If you can see me and you can hear me, give me a 1 in the chat. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Gentlemen's Panel today. Let me make sure that I'm live, though. Okay, yeah, I'm live. Okay, I'm live. All right, you guys can hear me, see me clear. I don't know why my MacBook is giving me fever. I can see on my phone. I'm gonna just have to close this out. Okay, so welcome you guys to another episode of the Gentlemen's Panel. Can we just give a round of applause for me debuting the hosting position, okay? I am so happy to be a part of this panel, okay? Just to give a little bit of a story time, about a month and a half ago, right? Oh my God, all my hoes be trying to call me when I'm doing the Lord's work, honey. All my hoes be trying to call me. About a month and a half ago, I, was telling the Lord on my front porch that I want to do more panel discussions, okay? That I want to be more communal and more interactive. And I'm tired of being up on my platform by myself. That I want to have a more interactive platform. And I'll be damned, okay? If I had mustered up all my energy and momentum behind that prayer, I sent that and launched that rocket of desire off, and I let it be, gave it to God, went on about my business for 2 weeks. And do you know who came to me 2 weeks later? Captivating Christian, who I had a lot of passive interactions with, okay? And he said, hey, Conscious, I would love to be a part of the Gentlemen's Panel, okay? I said, sure. And then from there, the rest was history, aside from that hater rebel. That hater rebel, everybody else had done asked me to be a part. But I hating behind rebel, honey. No, ma'am, he ain't see it for the girl. But guess what? You can't keep a good whap down, okay? Can't keep a good whap down. So with no further ado, I'm gonna play my intro. I'm gonna bring my co-host in, okay? And we want to get the party started. Go ahead and thumbs up this video, share out, okay? We're gonna have a really, really, really good dialogue tonight, okay? Really, really, really good. Let's go, intro. My baby father, captivating.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome.
How are you doing today?
I'm well. Thank you for having me.
You're looking rather islandy. I'm loving the floral shirt, giving me all type of Caribbean trade tees. Okay, keeping it cute. I'm not mad. You ready for tonight?
I am. Let's go.
All right. Let me bring in.
You know what? Wait, let me get you straight real quick. You gonna stop telling people that I was coming for you because you're full of it. Don't you?
Don't start that shit.
Okay, don't you start that, niece.
These are in-house fights. How you doing, Rebel? You had a full week, honey. You got Donald Trump checks. Are you ready for Hollywood? Are you ready for the new level of celebrity?
I buckled my seatbelt up. I'm ready for the ride.
That's what he said.
You don't know how to ride, boo. And But no, oh, wait a minute. Do we got my compadre? Okay, the official King Kane.
Oh,
Yes, the little
Yes. I see you got the note. I see you got the memo captivating.
of course, you know.
Now, you know, we got to bring about our founding father. None of this would be possible without the one and the only Bro J.
Did Jesus tell you this in a thunderstorm, or was it not raining? Because God talked to you. And did he just say, Captivate Christian gonna call you? I just want to know. You said God told you. Anyway, I heard your testimony. Praise Moses.
He was right on time, and I know I've been a good blessing to you all.
You have been a good blessing to you. I mean, your fashions, your hair, all of that.
The back
and
of
your commentary. Excuse me, and your commentary. Let me not forget.
Yes, I am not just beauty. I am brains as well. Okay. Now, I also have a special guest for you all. You know, we've been doing guests. I was a guest. I was introduced into Destiny's Children by another. So I thought it was only right if I paid it forward. I want to bring on board, okay? He is awesome. He is amazing. I want you to check out his platform, Yes Bitch TV. Hi. Yes, for the Mariah Carey turnaround. How you doing?
I am blessed and flavored. How are you?
Okay.
I am
not flavored, but flavored. Okay, what flavor? Vanilla, caramel?
A little caramel.
Okay.
Ooh.
Caramel means chocolate.
Okay, make them diabetic.
Okay.
It's a pleasure to be here, guys. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, thank you for being here. It is a blessing to have you here. I'm glad you could take time out of your busy schedule to give us some of your flavor, some of your swag.
Yes. Shout out to a fellow Floridian.
Thank you. Florida's in the house.
Oh, Florida, yeah. What's going on with Florida right now? Ain't y'all got storms and hurricanes and
No, that's Louisiana and Texas. But it's now in Arkansas now.
Wow.
Well, with Florida, you never know.
Yeah.
Jesus. Well, we're gonna keep Florida in our prayers because we know how y'all get this time of year. And then we also living in our last days, so y'all got double the trouble. Okay. So keep Florida in your prayers. Speaking of Florida, King Kane, how
Conscious, you freezing.
am I still?
Okay, you're good now. You good?
I think that shirt is too wonderful for the camera.
It is. It's giving way to number one on the cards. It is. But you know, we don't have to push through today. No push-up bra needed. We just gonna push on through tonight.
We're pushing through, baby. We can see all the push.
Now, King Kane, how is California doing? Because I know that you guys have like the wildfire and have all of that going on. Has there been any remedy to that, or are things still lit in California?
No, things in California are definitely not lit. If you're thinking about going on vacation, don't come to Cali right now. Everything is shut down. Okay, there's no fun, nowhere. Okay, the wildfires is affecting all of California. Some days it's really smoky, and then some days the wind picks up and it's kind of clear. Like today is a clear day, so hopefully the fires go out soon.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they got the lituation right there, I'm not sure that it's going to be possible for California to calm down. I mean,
yeah, because we keep it lit.
Yeah, loud and loaded. So speaking of this week has been very fiery. I don't know how many of you guys have caught the RNC, but I just want to open up this discussion by giving you guys a quick critique or review of the RNC. And of course, we got to start with our resident politician, Captivating Christian. What were your thoughts so far? I think this is day 4 of the RNC.
Yeah. In the words of everybody else, just straight trash. I don't even know what to say. Just straight trash. Nothing but race baiting. I'm done with it. I even The first night I was kind of like, okay, that was horrible. Second night I even tolerated it. Like it wasn't as bad as the first night. So I was hoping that maybe we was gonna progress to day 3 being something like, okay, because I already knew Donald Trump was gonna be trash. But no, we reverted all the way back from day 1 on day 3, and I'm just over it. At this point, we might as well just have a them us kind of war and just hash it out because it's disgusting. It really is very disgusting. And might I add, I've never seen so many black quote unquote Republicans since I've started watching politics. To be very honest, all these black men that was coming out of nowhere, I was surprised. Like, oh,
absolutely. I mean,
Alan Keyes was the only black person I knew.
The fucking place was nuts.
It was totally crazy. Totally
Official
crazy.
Queen Pain, did you get a chance to check out this week's RNC? If you caught any snippets, if you got a glimpse and a whiff of the disaster, what were your thoughts?
I didn't even watch because I knew it was trash, and you know, I just can't relate. So I filled my time with better things.
Father God, a Tyler Perry production. My goodness, that is the best way to describe it. Yes, Bitch TV. Did you get an opportunity to catch this week's RNC? If so, what were your thoughts?
I didn't get a chance to watch it because my mind goes blank when idiots get on the stage. So I did catch some mini clips here and there. Melania Trump, another idiot and brainwashed fool. I guess that's what happens when you I'm not going to get into her too quickly because I don't want to offend anybody who has been victims.
Well, hey.
No orders.
You know, you have that green light to be very offensive here. This is what we specialize in offensive content, okay?
I hear you. Also, fools like Donald Jr. What does Mars have to do with anything? Are you guys just planning to leave all the black people here to die because you fucked up this wonderful planet throughout the centuries? I feel like they just want to leave us here.
He looked like he was high.
I didn't even know there was another daughter that I graduated from law school during the pandemic, girl, because you are affluent. You are part of the 1%. So of course you can graduate during this pandemic. All I heard was a bunch of idiots, and all of them sounded, and the key word in this is disingenuous. You are not people, and you know, shame on you. That's really what I took from it, is a bunch of foolishness, and no one is truly speaking about the issues that are plaguing our nation. So if you don't have any resolutions for what's truly going on here, I don't want to see or hear you.
So I take it that you are not a Republican.
No. I'm independent, actually.
Oh, that's cute. Bro Jay, you've been helping us to review and to screen the RNC, which I appreciate, because a lot of us would not have watched this mess if it wasn't for some of our favorite content creators hosting these watch parties. So thank you, okay, for making this a little bit more enticing than what it really would have been on its own. What were your thoughts?
Baby, they had a lesbian nun that favored Ellen. The man took his bed and walked from the wheelchair. Then they had a blind man reading Braille. Baby, it was just miracles. It was so disjointed. It was disjointed. Things didn't merge and flow. And my thoughts were, if this is how they are running their convention, how in the hell are they running the country? And it was just, you know that their convention is really bad when the best part of the convention is when Melania just walked to the podium, not talk, just walk to the podium. And that man who got up out that wheelchair, though, I'm telling you, they had two men to come hold the wheelchair, and he stood up like I felt like Pentecostal Church of God in Christ camp meeting when he got up out. He didn't walk, but he got out that chair. It was a mess, though. It was a mess. It was sad. They used not Herschel, but Herschel Walker. I didn't even know he was still living. I'm like, Lord, they done got Herschel Walker. They get all of these black people, and either you are a famous politician or once a famous athlete or a black person who went to jail and Trump pardoned you. Baby, he went to the Department of Immigration and had the immigration ceremony at the White House. Okay, it was a hot mess. The man from Ghana was looking shiny, like they had just greased him up with Vaseline before he even came in there. And he just looked like a refugee. The whole thing was a mess. And I guess it was supposed to make me feel like I need to vote for Trump. And we never heard what he's going to do for us. All we heard about was how great he was. It sounded like a Kim Jong-un documentary. It was awful. So I didn't get anything. They didn't have no singing except that lady who sung the Star Spangled Banner, and she didn't sing the third verse. She only sang the first and second verse.
You in this singing bit. Come on.
But you know what? At least the Democrats had entertainment and they had good clips. And let me tell you, when that boy was stuttering, I felt that. That felt real genuine. But then they had that lady talking about her baby, and I'm like, girl. And then she started crying. Somebody started crying. I'm like, this is a mess. Anything that the Democrats did, the Republicans wanted to do it, and they did it in a terrible manner. The whole thing was a hot mess, and that's why I'm not really concerned about missing it tonight, because Donald Trump is speaking, and he's going to take an hour. So when we finish, he'll still be on.
Now, I'm surprised you really wanted some entertainment, because this past 4 years has been trash. I felt like they could not have a full in their little 2-hour window for entertainment, because they had major damage control to do.
Well, you know, I just thought it was just really crappy that they would cut away and show some monument or show off. We know how DC look. Okay, so they show DC, and then a speaker comes, and the fashions were horrendous. Oh my God. I mean, did you see that lady who wore that asymmetrical dress and then had pearls on it? She looked like a whole equation. She looked like a whole geometry equation. Dress on. I'm like, good. And then people had rouge on who don't need no rouge. And everybody who came and spoke had long hair. Even the old women had long hair. And it just didn't look good. It didn't do nothing for me. It was just, Tiffany Trump looked like she just put too much Botox in her face. And then she couldn't close her mouth. What was wrong with her teeth? How about she said, like my brother from Florida here said, yeah, I too graduated from law school, and I know how hard it is to find a job. Okay. Are you trying to relate to the people?
I'm just trying to figure out what was wrong with her teeth. She couldn't even close her mouth.
Like a whole cloud. Thousands of milliliters of Botox running.
And yet she had bell bottoms on. Who wears bell bottoms looking like an old Cher and Cher variety show? I'm like, girl, you wearing bell bottoms?
Her dad must have cleared them.
It was the best dress, and her stuff didn't even look good. I mean, a lot of these.
I'm telling you, Trump cleared Tiffany's checks because Tiffany was not hugging Trump. She was not here for Trump when he first got elected. She wasn't hugging him. She wasn't saying nothing about him. She was just quiet. Now all of a sudden she got a lot to say, so he must have been paying tuition.
Yeah, it was terrible. The first night was the best night. It went downhill since then. And Melania, you have taken every rose from that garden, from every first lady who planted the rose that started in 1913. You've taken every first lady's rose out, and then you took Jackie Onass's crab tree out, and the folk are not feeling you.
Can we say that nobody realized that Melania changed her platform from cyberbullying to drugs?
I don't know. I couldn't even understand what she was saying. The only thing I know is girl did walk that runway, though. Mama did walk that runway. That was the best part of that whole convention. Mama did walk that runway. I'm going to give her that. Mama walked that runway. But that's it. Maybe they had the fan on, and she got music. At least she got music. Nobody else ain't get no music. She got music.
The only thing I would like people to take away from this whole thing is when you're dealing in politics and you're dealing with people, period, is you have to look at the conviction and how they speak. Mm-hmm. And again, I go back to disingenuous. Everything you were trying to touch on points to get an applause from your fellow white supremacy groups, you weren't really engaged with the people of America. You were just saying things so that people can just, clap away. That's all you were doing. You don't care about this country. You care about your personal interests. You care about things that are going to continue to bring you that green honey, and you don't care about us.
Right.
And he never mentioned Herman Cain Don either. He never mentioned anything about Jacob Blake, none of these things. And I just got, and then, but you have the gall to bring on those people in St. Louis who had guns blazing, and then you want to give them a space.
Right.
And if you really paid attention to how they were speaking, it was very racist.
Coded. Yeah, it was
Very
racist. Yeah.
I asked, they talk about low quality housing. They said you don't want low quality housing in your neighborhood. Well, I'm like, don't white people live in low quality housing too?
They sure do.
I already told y'all in the previous gentleman's panel, they know what they do with these triggered terminology. They know exactly how they're socially interpreted. All that gaslighting, they know exactly what all that code language means. Now, Rebel, did you also get an opportunity? I mean, I know you was off getting bunked over in a hot tub over down in the nasty Florida. Did you get an opportunity to even check out the RNC?
I watched some brief snippets. Shout out to QB for that. Okay, but I saw some snippets of it. Only thing I was waiting for were the Log Cabin Republicans to come out and sing a medley of Elton John songs. Also, it was just pandering. All the showing black people there is like, see, we welcome other people. We're not secluded. We're wanting to embrace others, which is definitely in our generation, they haven't been embracing of people that look different from them. But I usually wait for the debates. I can't stomach the RNC convention, so I usually don't watch, because it's like I can go watch Fox News anytime.
Exactly.
So the rumors are true. Rebel Son is booed up. Is Rebel Son booed up or no? Could you always be on Jay Wilson? You always be on Jay Wilson.
Why my name got to be brought into it? I didn't know who.
You always be on your back about your man. Where your man?
I was proposed. Let me say this. I was proposed to. That's all I'm gonna say is I was proposed to.
Oh, was that good? Dang, Rebel.
Yeah, you got that.
Did this happen in Florida?
I'm going like Janet said. It's away.
Did this happen in Florida?
It's supposed to happen in Texas. I thought it was Texas at first.
Oh,
who must have been honey?
I don't know where the hell that happened. You know, ain't none of my business.
Okay, you know what? That's an after show exclusive. Let
me see your fingers. Did you engage? Was there a ring involved?
I'm not wearing anything right now because it's unbecoming to wear.
Okay. All right.
How big was the ring? How big was the ring?
Hell, the ring is not what you should be asking about.
Oh,
well, I'm asking about this. What I want to know about. What should I be asking?
I'm gonna just ask you this: what his shoe size was?
I didn't really see his feet.
You know, you just nasty, Rep.
I am
nasty, baby. We gonna get
I didn't even know. I'm lost, honey. I'm lost. I'm lost in the song.
Back to the comment. Okay, the RNC to me felt like Sunday service in a white church. For one, it was dry, tired, delayed, and through. But I do want to touch on a few points that were brought up during the RNC. One of those things was abortion. Let me tell you what I can't stand about you pro-life. Make my womb great again as I'm gonna try not to cuss too much on this. Mother lovers. Y'all all for pro-life. You're pro-life until that child grows up to be George Floyd. You're pro-life until that life turns out to be a black trans woman. You're pro-life until that child grows up to be a same gender loving individual. Okay? Then y'all have nothing to say about a country that also completely believes and supports and funds capital punishment, but you're pro-life. See, this selective outrage and this white narcissism that wants to police and control the bodies of all people is outrageous. I take no pro-lifer serious, okay? Because there's no provisions made for the lives that do get born this life. People have their children, put them up for adoptions, put them through foster care systems where they're sexually assaulted, they're abused, they're raped, they're further traumatized. There's no incentive about the quality of life, only that somebody comes into life. And I don't think you can have one without the other. I'm all for being pro-life, but if you're pro-life, let's also straighten out some of these legislations and some of these current systems and bring them up to code so that people cannot just be born into the world, but they can have a sound quality of life in this world once they're actually here. Okay? Anybody want to say anything to that before?
Yeah, I agree with you, because now, you know, you're not going to help the mom out, but she has to work 3 jobs. And when her kids are all out in the street, then you want to blame her, but she's working just to put food on the table. I have a problem because it is control over folks' lives. And even if you have a religious conviction, you know, you need to be concerned about the living. It's sad that some of these people care more about animals than they care about people. So I just have a problem with that. And I, worry about Jerry Falwell Jr. and his wife and the pool boy and all of this foolishness. I mean, see, people got worried about other issues, and
they're so hypocritical. That's the problem. I mean, they're so hypocritical.
Yeah, but let me say one thing too. It is sad when you have more stand-up Republicans at the Democratic Party than your own party, and I noticed that too. There were more good Republicans, having Lincoln Republicans. And another thing too, y'all don't be fooled about Republicans saying how Republicans have done this for the black people. You know, Dwight Eisenhower allowed black men to serve in the military, and that was the migration. And then LBJ signed the Civil Rights Act. The Dixiecrats fled, left, and became the Republican Party. So there was a switch. So don't get it fooled. That's why you got to know your history, because people will have you thinking that the Democratic Party was racist, which it was.
Right.
Those races went to the Republican parties, and there was a switch. So please know that, because I heard that a couple of times in the RNC's convention as well.
Okay, all right. Now, this sentiment during the RNC that Trump cares for the less fortunate and cares for those in pain and cares for the poor. Okay, first of all, I thought it was cute how they had to have the only supporters of Trump were person got a phone call from him, people who were personally invited to the White House, all these little personal testimonies. You know what I want to hear? If you want to be able to really critique the power and the humility and the humanity, is talk to the communities that are underserved within that country and ask them. I think I'm printing. Okay. Talk to these underserved communities and ask them how has it been beneficial for Trump to be in office for them, because there's a reason why Jesus always spoke about the poor and taking care of the poor, because that's the measure of your leadership, is what you do with the people at the bottom, not at the top. And you can only legislate from the bottom to the top. So I just thought that was real funny. Yes, okay. And not to mention, this whole attempt, you can tell that there's a demonic power over this administration, because even the way they set this RNC up was really rooted in the
comment.
Huh?
Even in the comments.
Yes, it was rooted in aesthetic. These pretty blonde hair, white men. See, that Isabel painting herself to be persuasive to the masses, you know, this allure and enchantment that comes from sex appeal or beauty. See, I can as a witch, I can see all the witchcraft in the present. Okay,
me too. I see it.
No witches when I see witches. Okay, I'm up on cold Republican Party. Okay.
Okay. Can I say something just real quick, since we're still on Trump? I just want to say this. The fact that we're even still dealing with this man as a commander-in-chief of one of the greatest nations to ever be, right? Just the simple fact that he has a long proven history and a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein,
right, is enough.
The fact that certain documents were released proving that he settled millions and millions and millions of dollars under the table to keep these children that he was raping quiet, lets you know that there is some type of witchcraft and demonic energy keeping him in. Because if anybody, all the presidency is if you're guilty by association, whether it's in your personal life or your professional life, a lot of times they will chop you out of that seat. Just because, even if it's not true, even if they're just allegations, they will just say, you know what, this isn't the time right now. You're already impeached, so let's just go ahead and get you up out of here because this is not a good look. So just the fact that his name is synonymous with someone that demonic and filthy, and there is proof to show his relation to this man, it bothers the fuck out of me.
Well, a lot of people are in bed with him. That's the problem. You know, his little Russian connections. Russia has dropped a lot of money into these Republican hands that, you know, we don't know about fully yet, but we will grow to learn that people like Lindsey Graham, who was, you know, oh, I can't stand him. He's a racist. He's a this, he's a that. Now all of a sudden he's the best thing since sliced bread. Oh, really? What happened, Lindsey? Or did they have video of you and your little boyfriend escapades? So they keep you quiet and keep you on the hush hush, because Lady Graham is out there doing his business, so much so that his little boy toys are telling. So I mean, everybody's kind of laid or have their little niche with him, where in which if they speak out on him, you know, they get exposed. So
or dead like Jeffrey Epstein.
That too, because he didn't hang himself, and homegirl's scared too. Homegirl is scared for her life because she knows she's next. And
6 hours prior to his death, he was talking about making a deal to release the Black Book for lesser time.
Wow.
So all of a sudden, 6 hours after that announcement was made, he ends up dead.
Right.
Now, let's be real.
Right. Yeah.
Shonda Rhimes was not wrong. Scandal is a very real depiction on what goes on in our political atmosphere.
Very much.
This is kind of an improv question, but do y'all think that Epstein actually killed himself, or do y'all think that he staged his death?
He was murdered.
Oh, he was murdered. He was
murdered.
Yeah, and also, and I want to clear something up as well. The Democrats, President Obama did not spy on Trump. They were spying on a Russian spy. And
very true.
When the Trump administration happens to meet with this spy, and of course, when that happens, it causes. So I want you all to know it was a lot of doing this. And like Michelle Obama said, to vote for somebody else is a throwaway vote. Not to vote is still a vote for Trump. And we've learned that he told some black civil rights or black leaders,
civil rights leaders,
that you know, that's what helped him out. So he's even acknowledging that voter suppression or making people feel like their vote doesn't count work. So, I mean, you all, this is a really critical vote. And he keeps on saying what he's done for black people. He really hasn't done anything. Obama had a job growth similar to his. And believe it or not, Obama had more jobs created than Trump. You won't hear that. It's just a bunch of lies. Those HBCUs, they haven't gotten that money yet. They got a signed document, but that's about it. I'm telling you, don't believe the hype. This man is a con man. Ask those contractors who worked on his hotels who got stiffed and still haven't gotten their money.
Right, that part.
Now, before we move on, can we talk about Gap Tooth Bernie, who showed up night before last after he done got up in.
Who conscious is froze?
All right,
ain't nobody heard his side. Ain't no. I'm like, conquistador. First of all, you and your tribe is mixed with gorilla blood, mosquito blood, and fruit flies. Then you talking about nobody asked my side. Nigga, you don't even have sides to your teeth, girl. You have more spaces than an inner city parking lot. Okay? Your shit is all yacked up. What sides, girl? You don't have a left or a right. Make braces great again. Now you done took your privilege behind. You done walked over to this man, got in his face, taunting him with the smirks and the white privilege stare.
Right.
And then when you got dragged and roasted down to the ground on social media, you did exactly
what white people do.
Cry victim.
Right.
After you done gaslit and after you done been antagonized.
Right.
Now I know Captivating, you had a few choice words for a gap tooth Bernie when he had on his little tuxedo and he was trying to appeal to the American people.
I mean, it was a mess. I mean, first of all, he was the one antagonizing that man. You could see that his friends was in the back laughing and joking. So it was something that they were making fun of. It was nothing in which he was standing up to people who were disrespecting him. They were the ones antagonizing the peaceful protesters as they normally do. But in his authority as a white boy, or just being white in general, he felt that he had the authority to do so.
And Conscious TV, Covington Catholic. I lived in Kentucky, and I live not too far from Covington Catholic. It's an expensive school. That school is almost $40,000 a year to attend, and the few Black people that have gone there have even dealt with racism, and they're known for that. And if you know anything about Cincinnati is not. It's a very, very red town. Marge Schott, the owner of Cincinnati Red, called the man the N-word. You just had the announcer Brenneman in Ohio say the F town. He said
they just had a
world.
So, high school in Georgia, they sent out a little tweet or whatever for everybody to have their Trump paraphernalia and bring it to school, and they're sitting up there waving Trump 2020 flags and T-shirts, saying racial slurs. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it seems like him. It seems like he's divisive. But I do want to give a shout out to the NBA basketball players, the MLB, Naomi Osaka, and the National Soccer League for saying, you know what, we're not going to go out on the field and entertain you when our folk are dying. Right. Naomi said, I may be from Japan, but I'm a Black woman.
She's your girl.
Amen. Okay, now we're going to move right along, honey. So I know also this week has been an explosive week. Protests are going down in Wisconsin. I'm sure you guys have heard about the young Black man, Jacob Blake, who was shot several times in his back. He's now paralyzed from the waist down as a result of police brutality. And we have footage of Jacob walking to the driver's side of the vehicle where an officer grabbed the back of his shirt and then proceeded to shoot him several times. From there, he was transported to the hospital. The Black community is outraged. Social media is outraged. And here we are again. What do you guys understand about the Jacob Blake situation, and how do you guys feel? Official King Payne, have you gotten a chance to hear what's going on with Jacob Blake?
I watched it. It's just tragic. It's just very unfortunate. I thank God that he survived. Most of the victims of police brutality don't survive. So he's gonna get to, get some money or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But the whole situation is unfortunate. It's unfortunate when you call the police for help and they come out and they kill you or they shoot you down, you know what I'm saying? He was called out because it was a domestic thing. He didn't want to give the keys to his wife, and the police came out, and in less than 3 minutes, they shot him in the back 7 times. Like, this man should be dead, but God said otherwise. And I just feel like this is crazy. So then they've been having all these protests and stuff. And then there's this white boy, his name is Kyle or whatever. He comes to the protest with a gun and he shoots people and kills them. And he walks away from the protest, walks right past the police, and they managed to arrest him without shooting him. And, he killed people at this protest. He was walking around with this AK-47. And this man, the only thing that he's guilty of is being Black.
Wow. So before I move on to the next speaker. So you believe that this was racially motivated for sure?
Absolutely. I mean, like, why is he handcuffed to his bed? He's handcuffed to his hospital bed right now. What did he do? Why is he still in handcuffs?
Okay.
He can't even walk. What is the purpose of the handcuffs?
Right. Maybe if he had white male privilege, he might be able to get up. You know, that's how it works. Rebel.
If he had that, he would be living.
Did you get a chance to hear about what's going on with Jacob Blake? What are your thoughts about the footage and about the case?
Well, this is the thing with police. When they see a black man, they see us as threats and not as people. It's always a reaction that they have. Let me get them before they get me. And when I looked at the footage of Kyle Rittenhouse, he wasn't arrested until Wednesday when he did this on Tuesday. And then when he was walking through the crowd, people were saying that was the shooter. The police officers offered him water. So you're walking through the crowd, you've killed 2 people, and they're looking at you as, you know, this is the white man. He couldn't be a threat. You know, those are the threats. And just this whole mindset, I would have thought that we would have gotten a lot further than we are, but we're back. It's as if we're stuck in the 50s. And even with, you know, just even when they get animals, they shoot them with a tranquilizer. Did it take 6 more shots after the first one? Why so many shots to this black man in the back? And if he had a knife in the car, that was after the fact. You knew after you shot him, you knew he had a knife because you didn't know him to be perceived as a threat until now you're saying he had a knife. Well, he could have had a jackhammer in there as well that could have done damage. So what are you going to use? Any tool in this car as a potential weapon? It's just definitely, we are definitely, the Black Lives Movement definitely has to keep going. My family supports it, active in it. And I just think it's a disgrace to this country that we're still in that place that our grandparents had to be in.
Yeah, for sure. Wow. Yes. How do you feel?
First and foremost, I'd like to offer up my thoughts, my prayers to this young man and his family and the people that, you know, love him. Because this is another tragedy that we're being faced with. And it's unfortunate that we're not learning from past or recent past. So this definitely goes to show that they don't give a fuck about us. Also, I think it's important to point out too that we need to more than ever push to have people from our communities police our communities. Mm-hmm. Because when you have, just like Rebel Sun said, when you have these white officers perceiving black men or people of color as threats, it makes me wonder, you don't even know me. I don't have the sign of a threat just based on my color. Could it be that white people are afraid that we're going to do to them what their ancestors did to us?
Of course.
That part.
And another thing is, I'm not surprised because when our commander-in-chief, when the White House itself never stands up to condemn these atrocities that are done to our people, and you promote white power, when you're out here promoting that, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get officers of the law. You're going to get people in law enforcement. You're going to get other white people galvanizing and weaponizing and mobilizing against us. They see the history. Oh, we can go ahead and shoot them. Mm-hmm. We can go ahead and shoot them even when there's no perceived threat. We'll get away with it because history shows us that we are the supreme race, so we can get away with anything. Yeah. So I think it goes to show that we need more than just change. Yeah. We need a revolution, and we need that revolution to continue until something is truly done. That way, our great grandkids, our kids, even right now, when I see a cop and everything's clean on me, I get worried for no damn reason. Mm-hmm. You should not have to be enveloped in that kind of anxiety as an adult, as a person, as a child. And that man's children saw that happen to him. And that's not the first story where kids have seen Philando Castile shot, killed right in front of his children. That's going to stay with them. There's no amount of money. Everyone's saying, oh, a lawsuit's going to come. They're going to be taken care of. Child, that money don't mean nothing when your life is gone, when you can no longer touch your dick. Can we keep it real? When you can no longer, your weight from the waist down, this man is going to be paralyzed. There's no life for this man.
So before I go to captivating and passive, let me ask you this question, and everybody can answer just a yes or no. Do you guys feel like every Black people are gunned down or end up dead at the hands of white police officers is racially motivated? And I'm gonna just go around. A captivating Christian, yes or no?
You got to restate the question, Conscious, because it froze when you were asking.
Oh, okay. I just want to ask real quick. Do you guys believe that every instance in which Black people end up dead in the custody or at the hands of white police officers is racially motivated? And I'm gonna let you answer that first, captivating Christian. Yes.
I think so.
Okay. Mute yourself. Rebel Son. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Bitch TV.
Yes, but can I just say one thing?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I know you want a yes or no. It's proven by when we see multiple videos of white people charging at police officers, and a taser isn't even deployed. So there you go.
Okay. Bro Jay, yes or no?
Yeah, I do. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Did I say yes?
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, somebody Metro PCS phone, the cricket phone.
Okay. You know what? Don't be trying to read me with my reads, okay? For one,
because honey, you've been freezing.
Some original intellectual.
Okay, can we get a GoFundMe? Can we get a GoFundMe?
Can we pass the
I promise I won't spend it on myself like Steve Bannon did. All right, go ahead. I said yes. Go ahead.
Okay. Official King Payne, yes.
Yes, I believe race plays a role in every call.
Woo! Okay, this is where I'm gonna play a little bit of a devil's advocate. I'm gonna let y'all about to be triggered. We all about to be triggered up here, but I gotta play devil's advocate a little bit. Okay. Now let me preference this by saying I'm a bad bitch. So I've had my share of run-ins with police officers needing to try to apprehend a bad bitch, but it's, no weapon formed against thee has ever prospered. Now, because I've had my share of run-ins with the police as a bad bitch, I've never had any, I wouldn't say.
Okay, this freezing is triggering me. This freezing is triggering me. Let me put my shit on mute, girl, because this freezing is triggering me. Oh my
Yes,
God.
I'm loving all the bad bitch energy. Okay.
Am I
the
bad?
bad bitch energy. Yeah.
Am I bad?
You're bad.
Okay.
You're bad.
Okay.
You're bad.
So I wouldn't say that I have been ever mishandled. I've had honestly very positive.
And now you're gone. Yes.
Am I still here?
You're back.
You still here.
Still here.
You're
I'm
back.
back.
You're back.
But what happens is when you get really excited, it freezes.
That's
Probably
what he
the
said.
volume.
So
Too
you
much
need
energy.
to bring it down a level because every time
Let
you
me
take it
bring
up,
it down. Let me bring it down a level. Okay. So I've never been mishandled. Now, with that being said, I have to say that before I decided to put this on the docket, I wanted to make sure I was clear about every aspect of this case. Now, what the footage the media is showing is only one aspect of what took place that day. There's another angle of the case where Jake vehicle and he's actually fighting and wrestling and resisting arrest. When we see him coming around to the driver's side, it's after he's successfully resisted arrest from the passenger side. He goes around the vehicle and then police decide to grab him by the back of the neck and shoot him. Now, to put this in further context, because I do want to because for me, as easy as it is as a black man to use all these instances to draw the same conclusion, I also know like I'm most careful about the way I perceive something because my emotions are heightened, which may create a bias in terms of the way that I interpret situations. Now, I'm considering the fact that the young woman who called 911 needed 911. That's why she called, and the police arrived on the scene for a domestic dispute. Now, they arrive on the scene. He has her property in his hands. He's entering into a vehicle. If I were to not only put myself in the shoes of not just Jacob, but also put myself in the shoes of her, I have a past. I have a domestic violence past with this man. This is on record. He's not supposed to be on the property because of previous domestic disputes between he and I. He comes to my house. He has my keys. He's not leaving. I call 911. 911 is entering under the context that this is a dangerous situation. If I was her, I would have wanted police to not allow the. Now, what I don't agree with is them shooting him. But I'm also talking about when he resisted arrest and got into the vehicle. At that point, he made himself dangerous.
Conscious, you freezing again.
So tasering went out
Wait,
the door.
so Conscious, can I answer that?
Am I back? Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna let y'all respond, but I just want to just really paint this picture real quick. If I was her, I'm concerned as to who called 911. I don't know if what's in that vehicle is a gun. I don't know if what's in that vehicle is something that could kill me, could kill those children. And the police officers themselves have to consider their own safety. Now, we're in a situation where we are expecting police to be real open-minded in situations that feel dangerous to not only them, but to the people around them. Now, I agree. I felt like, why shoot him? Because if you reached out for him and you could touch him, that means you could have yanked his ass to the ground. You could have tased his ass to the neck. You could have done a lot of things other than use fatal force to apprehend him. I don't agree with the level of force used, but I also accept that Jacob made himself a moving and a very dangerous,
Conscious
target in a situation that was already
Conscious, I hear you, but I just finished listening to the Karen Hunter show on Urban Radio. And there was a woman who called in, and she called the police because there was a white man on their porch trying to break in their house. The husband had a gun. He said, "I will shoot you." They showed the white dude the gun. She was on the phone with 911 saying that there is a man on the premises. He's going around to the front door and the back door trying to break in our home. My husband has a gun. He's going to shoot him if he breaks into the home. The police came. They apprehended the guy and got him on the ground. White man. Do you know that white man popped up, got away from the police, and ran, and they did not shoot him? The lady said they're going to shoot him. And the husband said, no, they're not, because he's a white man. And they did not shoot him. They don't. Even after that, they apprehended him again. No gun pull, no taser pull, pulled him out. Then the police officer comes to their house, asked where, because he knew that they were husband and wife. She gave him the name. Do you not know the police asked them, looked around the house, because they lived in a very affluent neighborhood, and asked them, so are you all married? Almost saying that, exactly. Almost saying to them is, why are you all here? Are you all the ones who called? Like those people shouldn't have lived there. And by the grace of God, her husband is getting shot for calling. So my thing is, why is a man who was actually at these people's door, getting ready to break into their house, not one gun drawn, tackled the whole time, tackled even when he got up? And then they go to these black people who are the homeowners and insult them with that question like they don't belong in this neighborhood. So I can't buy that. If these police can let these
but that's what I'm saying, though. It's like we acknowledge that obviously racial profiling is a big thing, and that this
but no, I can't even accept that, Conscious, because that man had a whole long gun and shot 2 people and 3 police cars.
Right, but I don't want. But see, I want us to stick specifically and not bleed any of that. I want to deal literally with this Jacob.
First of all, I heard he was breaking up a fight. I heard that the females breaking up a fight, right? So regardless of that, 2 females were fighting, and the people explained that, and they still did that. And the thing is, he was not getting ready to attack that police officer. That police officer grabbed that man's shirt and shot him 7 times. There is no reason for that.
But
they will kill a pit bull.
Look, I want us to, because I get it and I understand. I think everybody here accepts that there was no need for fatal force.
Yes.
Nobody agrees that there was fatal force should have been necessary. But what I'm saying is that if police are trying to question me or telling me to stop house instead of get on the ground. Look, I'm aware that I ain't putting myself in a predicament that
so that white guy who popped up the white guy who popped up put himself in danger, but he didn't get shot.
But that's what I want to make.
But that's what I want to make. You need to be and make them take sensitivity training.
But that's the point.
Everybody black ain't gonna kill you.
That's the point that I want to make. That's the point that I want to make. I know y'all intense. I'm gonna let y'all get it out. But the point that I'm making is that I don't mind the instances in which my whole thing is just want to be afraid in this situation. Be afraid in the situation where it's a white suspect, because I get it from all directions.
Yeah.
If you feel like this man became dangerous when he resisted arrest, his vehicle, you don't know what the fuck he's about to do. As a police officer, you are trained to make certain judgment calls when you feel there's a height of danger. But let that be the case, whether it's white or black or Spanish or Chinese. But
it's not.
Well, we get it. They had 6 police officers there, and they could have tackled that man. And I would rather him go to the hospital with cuts and bruises than
they could have did a number of different things. Like Rich said in the comments, shooting should be the last resort. I feel like they could have shot in the air and he would have stopped. You know what I'm saying? Like, why shot him? They didn't need to shoot him at all. They could have pulled out the taser. They could have tackled him. They could have let him go. Have they ever considered letting us go? He didn't do anything.
Let's be very clear. We all know that there are 2 levels of justice when it comes to people of color, when the police deal with us. So, I don't think there was anything that this young man would have done that they did not feel.
He was leaving. He didn't do anything wrong.
What they did was warranted. And that's been proven time and time again.
So I want to give a shout out to his mama, because his mama was very articulate, and I just loved how his mom came and said what she said. I mean, his mom, what she said was profound. And I don't think that if this was right, then we wouldn't be shutting down the MLB and the NBA, because those men, as much money as they have, we may know who LeBron James is, but we don't know who LeBron James' son may be. And so he could be shot and killed as well. And so it's going to say, no matter what rung of society you're in, whether you're poor or affluent, everybody can get it. And we need to be concerned about that. And that's the bottom line. You know, go get training, get sensitivity training. You know, let's stop this kind of stuff. You know,
well, I think I'm sorry to butt in on this real quick. I just think too that it's not just about the police officer itself; it's the organization of the police. So when that's embedded in the culture of the police, nothing is really going to change unless someone from the tippity top comes down and lays Thor's hammer and says enough is enough. So, and then also too, what is the point of officer hand-to-hand combat training? What's the point of rubber bullets? What's the point of pepper spray or mace or a nightstick? What's the point of tasers if you're going to just go for your gun first? There should be no lethal means whatsoever unless you are faced with equal lethal means. I'm a gun person. Things they teach us that you cannot fire your weapon or pull your weapon on someone if you are not met with equal force.
That's why I done seen people on Flocka in Florida who have extra strength and they still took them down. And Flocka make you lose your mind. You from Florida, and we got Flocka addicts all around. But still in all, if that Flocka addict don't have a gun or not charging you with a knife, then you better just wait until they get the high down or like you said, tase them or rubber bullet them. But, you know, even with that, I'm just tired of it being two justice systems, one for black and one for white.
That's why the saying goes, without that badge, you will be and a half. Okay? Because it don't matter how much practice you do. If it's not in here, you always gonna go for the gun first. If you ain't got no heart, if you're not no fighter, you always gonna go for the gun. You're not trying to get hurt out here on these streets. You trying to go home and eat. You doing this for a check. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And also, we have to point out like officers look very young. We need to, the same way there's an age limit on becoming president or running for certain offices. You need to put an age limit on when these guys, your maturity level also is a factor. If you are 21, 22 years old and you have not experienced or lived in your communities or lived life or dealt with many different types of people, how can I trust that you're going to have a level head coming into a situation where there may be possible aggression? How are you going to deal with that?
And if you were former military, you need to have a psych evaluation as well, because they hire a lot of these guys from the military who already have trauma. So, I mean, we have to do a lot of stuff. And I am not anti-police. I want people to know that, but I'm tired of police officers. They talk about something, it's a few bad ones. Well, when you don't say nothing, then it's all of you all. And a silent police is a guilty police as well. And my thing is, if you see something, say something. But we know, again, that upper tier, that upper brass will probably punish that person for saying that. So we really need to deal with that whole organization. So
I want to go in, because that's going to be my next point. But I also wanted to point out Mrs. Larry's point that they did use non-lethal methods to subdue him before they end up joining, tasing, etc. Now, I also want to keep in mind that domestic violence, especially within the Black community amongst Black women, is really serious. Most Black women don't even survive domestic violence incidents. Now, as a gay man who was recently in a domestic violence situation where the cops had to be involved, this is a very touchy situation for me, because it's easy to say what police should have done. But to be honest, even when I had to file a police report against my ex, because he made certain threats against my life and my well-being, what they told me is that they pretty much couldn't do shit unless he showed up and to give them a call. So I'm left. Option for one is that I will make it to call you, that I will live to be able to call you. That's a terrible assumption. But then two, if my ex would have pulled up on some rah-rah shit and I would have had to call, I think I froze for a minute.
You did. You did.
And that moment, I would not have cared what they would have had to do to keep him from hurting me, even if it meant having to kill his ass right then and right there, because better you than me. As somebody who's been in a situation like that, that is very terrifying. I am a person who also does not put a lot of, I don't leave a lot of room for doubt. And that's why I always, even when it comes to hate crimes against same gender loving people and trans people, I always say pull your trigger first, because I'm not asking no questions. If you get rah-rah with me on some rah-rah shit in public, I'm not about to figure out what you're trying to do. I'm about to walk up on me. You ain't even about to get that close. I'm about to come to a lot of swift executive choices in the moment, and that's to blow your fucking brains off. I'm going to ask you questions later. Like, do you need an ambulance? After I send several rounds into your ass. But I think in a situation like this, as somebody who's been in domestic violence situations, it was natural for me to put myself also in her shoes.
Do we know that he was in a domestic violence situation? Because if I'm not mistaken, I thought 2 women were fighting. I didn't know that he was fighting her. I thought he was breaking.
According to reports, police were responding to a domestic violence situation. It could have been between the 2 women, but this man here, once they got to the scene, didn't want to give them back. That's why they started questioning him and focusing upon him, because he had her property. And amidst the questioning, etc., that's when all hell broke loose, and he decided he was going to the scene, etc.
Well, the same way there are laws against shooting someone in the back. If someone were to break my home and they were to leave and I were to shoot them in the back, even though I'm a licensed gun carrier, and they're leaving, I can be charged with a crime. So in the video clearly shows this young man walking to his car. You're grabbing him by his shirt, and because you're a fearful white bitch, you decide that you're going to shoot this man to take him down. And that man was not that damn big. You down just by laying hands on him.
But that's the issue. But that's why I had brought up like the point of the footage. But he was already resisting arrest by the time we saw him come around. Like that's what the other footage shows. That he's resisting arrest. He's on the passenger side. He gets free. They tried to tase him. They couldn't take him down. He moves around to the driver's side, and that's what we see then. But the
thing about it is, though, if you're being detained, that doesn't necessarily mean you're under arrest. So you should be free to walk around and do what the fuck you want to do. Without feeling like someone's going to kill you.
But we don't know if they decided that he was under arrest or making is that, sir, you are under arrest. And
well, I think with this climate, with these police officers doing all of this stuff, I would have been, I would have really thought twice before I would have shot somebody in the back, knowing that George Floyd and all of this stuff has been happening, and you have to know that this was going to be an issue. You have to know. So no matter how it looks now, we have a whole NBA, and I keep on bringing them up because it was deep enough that they stepped away and said, we're not going to do this. And, you know, again, this is why we got to change laws, because it can't be all police. And if that's something, you know, as far as the domestic violence situation, then we got to go ahead and get with our legislators to say, hey, you know, we shouldn't be waiting until people die. Lord Jesus, can I get my jug? We shouldn't be waiting until people die. But again, you all have the power. And you know, you're electing these people, and you say, you know what, women shouldn't, or men either. No one should have to wait to be put in a situation where somebody's gonna come with a gun and shoot their head off or stab them to death to say, okay, call the police. But that's not gonna happen until people really push the issue. Unfortunately, we don't have lobbyists like the wealthy do, but you know, we have to vote these people in and out.
And also, too, just piggybacking off what you said, Jay Wilson, time to vote. Your police commissioners, your local sheriff's department, the heads of your sheriffs and your local police departments. This is the time to really vote, not just the presidency, vote for all levels of government, because this is also can help change the tide.
Right. I concur. Now that transitions us into my next question: defunding the police task force, abolishing the police task force. Rebel, What are your thoughts on the idea of completely abolishing the police task force as we know it to be, living in a society that is without policing?
I don't think we should do that, but I just think it should be revamped. I do feel that we don't want people out there being policemen themselves, because that's how we had the guy that pursued what was the black boy that was pursued, George Zimmerman.
Yeah.
So you could have someone like that feels like they should be policing people, which they shouldn't be. So I think that the police task force should be revamped. I think that old guard, that whole mindset of the older good old boys should be taken out, because we all know here in Houston, it was a problem with these little outside towns outside of Houston, and they had the good old boys in there, and they would always pull black people over until they pulled a council member's son over, and they took that whole police force out, and they started anew. I think it should be revamped, but I don't think it should be taken away.
Okay. Official campaign, defunding the police. Do you want to live in a society where there are other alternatives aside from the police?
Absolutely, absolutely. The police department needs to absolutely be defunded, shut down, canceled, and the funds need to be relocated, okay? The funds need to be given to different organizations. This is not a world without police. This is a world with alternatives, okay? Instead of when you call 911, you get this overpaid police officer that just wants to go home and eat donuts. You get a social worker or someone within the community that specializes in whatever you're going through, whether it's mental health, whether it's domestic violence, or whatever. Deadly force should never be applied in, situations that this type of force is not being used in, So I feel like we definitely need to get rid of the police department. All the funds, all the government assistance is going to them. They get over 50% of all the money allocated to these communities.
Understandable. Vivian, no, there are actually three categories. We're talking about social justice reform, which is a revamping of police reform, but then there is also a thing of abolishing.
We have to abolish it because we try to reform.
We're actually having
you can't reform it. It's so deeply rooted. It goes all the way back to slavery, the KKK. All of that is so in bed. You have to defund it, and if there is going to be a police department, it has to start all over from scratch. Nobody that's within the police department now can be in the new police department moving forward. And Bent Entertainment, is that why Bent Entertainment said the police should be people from our own communities, people we grew up with, people we know, people we went to school with, people that have roots in that community. It shouldn't be outsiders that really don't care. That's doing it all for a check.
I agree.
I'm a firm believer that police officers are supposed to be our heroes, our superheroes. So I believe that the job should be taken serious, and the requirements to become a police officer need to go way up.
Yeah.
And have mental evaluations as well. Be mentally evaluated, because you have some police officers that have traded the white capes in for a badge.
Mm-hmm. So blue is the new KKK uniform. Defunding the police, abolishing the police task force. Yay or nay?
I'm sorry, you froze. Who are you asking?
You, Captivating Christian. Am I still freezing?
No, you was when you first said it, so I didn't hear
you. You're gonna be Iceman from the X-Men.
Yeah.
The police, yay or nay?
I agree with King Payne. The police department overall needs to be defunded. They're too militarized. They get military equipment. You have tanks running down your street now. You have these militarized weapons to police civilians. You're not at war. It's almost like you've turned these inner cities into battlegrounds themselves, and now it's an all-out war. And the police are, the U.S. troops that come from, Afghanistan and whomever, and we are now the Afghan people. We are now, other people, that they go around the world and try to police, and it's tough. I mean, they get billions and billions of dollars that could be sent to the same communities to empower the people, but yet, you drop it in these communities, you drop it to the police force. Like I said, they're running around with tanks and militarized weapons to do what? And then you wonder why.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
So it definitely needs to be defunded completely.
So that's a yes for defunding.
Yep.
Okay.
Union too.
Armand Jordan in the comments had a really good idea. She said that the police officers should be licensed, and then they should have to renew their license every year, like most other professions.
I agree to that.
I know in my profession, we have to get a license, and we have to renew our license every 2 years. In real estate, you have to renew your license every, I think, 4 years or something.
Life insurance too.
Yeah, so I think they should definitely be a license thing, and we should be snatching licenses back and forth, left and right. You know what I'm saying? And I think if it was a license thing, they'll have more people that look like us in there. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it'd be different, the licensing process.
Bro Jay, abolish
the academy.
I look at Camden, New Jersey. They had a bad situation going on, and in Camden, they worked with the police union, and everybody was fired and had to start over again. And they allocated money different places, so they used a lot of social work, so police didn't have to deal with a lot of the mental health issues. I think sometimes we need to take things off of police officers' plates because they're not equipped or qualified to do certain things. I think you should have at least a minimum of an associate's degree when you're doing this. And we don't need tanks. You need the body armor. I think they have a new thing now where they have technology to help them to determine where a lot of the crimes will take place. And then I think the police actually have to be a part of the community and get to know people, because we know that when people trust you and they know you, then you solve cases and you do these things. I don't think we need to sit there and defund the whole police department. I think it needs to be revamped, but I think people need to start from scratch. Like Rebel said, everybody is fired, and then we hire people because, some people need to go. And they do need to have training, yearly, training, or
the training should never stop.
Yeah. So it's always going to be new things, new technologies, and getting some continual education. So you just don't stop because you're a police officer and that's it. No, you're going to have to continue to train. And I think it's really good to look at other police departments' best practices as well. And that's why I bring up Camden, New Jersey, because they had a big problem. If you ever been to Camden, New Jersey, you know it was a terrible place, but they got their police department together because they work with the unions. Because I believe in unions. I believe you should be able to collectively bargain with your salary.
Yeah, some of these unions are gangs. Some of these police unions are straight up gangs. So I think these unions need to be gutted as well, because they are gang.
That'll be interesting. You can't. They may have to find a new union, but this need to do something to really work together and think what we're going to do. Because at the end of the day, if you fire the whole department, now the union really doesn't have any play or say. So maybe some police departments have to do that, but I would say unions are a problem until you need it, and then they start cutting your salary. So I'm not all anti-union. I'm anti-gang union, but I'm not anti-union because, $15 and your health insurance starts skyrocketing and you might want a union. So I'm not anti-union. I think they may need to revamp some things, but yeah. So I'm about revamping the police department in the spirit that Rebel gave that example.
And now my guest does have to go to work tonight, so we want to try to condense some of these responses to be more time conscious because I think
Really conscious TV.
All right, y'all hear the perfect feeling? Y'all hear that?
Really conscious TV.
I'm just saying.
Really?
Long-winded conscious TV.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Yes,
So that question took at least about 30 minutes to get out, but anyway.
Look, I deal with you after the show. Yes,
We
bitch.
will. We see each other.
Abolish the police task force. What, you want to live in a society that's police free, or?
Honestly, I think first we got to educate the kids. I think King Payne touched on it earlier. The police, Texas Rangers, U.S. Marshals, back in the slave days, when slavery was about to be abolished, that's when the police forces started getting together because white people were scared that the slaves that they owned were going to come back and slaughter their ass. So let's be real about the reason why police were created to begin with. Now, when we talk about what's going on today, do I believe they should be abolished? Not completely, but I do believe that they should be regulated by community oversight groups that are just regular civilians like you and me. Because when these horrible atrocities are happening to our people, we can stand up regularly, but we don't have authority. We don't have power. Our voices obviously are not being heard. So again, we need to look at the system as a whole, and this may take about 20 to 30, 40 years. Because we gotta break these motherfuckers down. Excuse my language. We gotta break these bitches down, honey. And we need to restructure from top to bottom to middle to the corner to the smallest to the largest avenues of the justice system. So abolishing them, not completely, but I do believe that we, as the regular people, the taxpayers, since that is how they're funded anyway, we should have more say-so on what goes on.
Absolutely. And can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I am team abolish the police. So a lot of people think that abolishing the police means that there's no accountability, but it's just another way of really envisioning our world. And instead of a police task force, it's replacing that with restorative justice, which means that a lot of this money that we pour into the police task force, we take and actually pour in the communities, leads to a lot of the criminal behavior that police are even needed for. So if you raise up communities, you don't have issues of burglary, you don't have issues of gang violence. When you pour those tax dollars into mental health for communities, into proper education, etc., Head Start programs.
I'm sorry, one thing. Piggyback on what you're talking about real quick. We also need to take into consideration that it's difficult to clean up the streets if the white supremacy groups and if police are actually introducing the drugs into our communities. Thank you very much. And piggybacking off a little bit of what we was talking about, criminal justice is one of the things I went to school for. I didn't graduate yet, honey, okay? But there is a certification that has to be renewed every so often. So the fact that in psychological evaluations that do take place, the fact that these people, and a lot of times they just scoot them by. They don't even really do the scoring like they should. They just let them go because the process is expensive and it's a tedious process. They just let these guys go. So if you have a 300, 400-pound officer, you know damn well he didn't pass his dexterity test.
Right.
Damn well. He has 5 necks. There's no way he is passing his dexterity qualification to meet the physical requirement to continue to be certified. So I just wanted to say that. I apologize.
Yeah, but and that's what I mean, because you can't legislate people's hearts, which is one of the issues with the police task force. Is you get people who can pretend to be sound-minded while being racist in their hearts, while being homophobic and transphobic in their hearts, etc. I think that one of the things that we're afraid of when it comes to abolishing the police task force is, I think our community, I think that the world at large don't want to admit that they don't want to put their own lives on the line in order to make sure that the world is safe, because now this puts the power of justice in the hands of the actual us are going to actually intervene in a fight. I know every time we see violence depicted on social media, depicted etc., it's easy to feel outraged and to say, I would have stepped in, but really, would you have really stepped in? Somebody's getting the living shit beat out of them. Somebody is stabbing somebody with a knife or a crowbar. Are you really about to put yourself online in order to possibly stop this situation? And so, because I think we ourselves, because this whole idea of abolishing the police is not new. The whole Black Panthers was formed out of this idea of protecting and being the gatekeepers of justice within a community. And so it's just bringing it back. And I would love to see the alternatives instead of the police task force, because exactly what is punishing people doing? We have prisoners who are given 20, 30-year sentences, and they get out and rape and kill days after they've served decades in prison. We have people who are charged with sexual assault who go to prison and become the men who rape and sexually assault other prisoners. And so we're not actually seeing anything that benefits us, because ultimately, if these people getting locked up are not on death row, it means that at some point they're going to be reintegrated into the community. What exactly is happening within that system that makes this person safe?
Well, Conscious TV, because people are making money from these folks going to jail. We all know that. And jail used to be a place of reform. And when they start taking out these things to help people knowing that they're going to come back out, they cut it all, and it just became a marketing place. That's why you have some of these states doling this stuff out to private enterprises. So I just think that, you know, we really need to educate a lot of our people.
Yeah.
And I think
on every single level, we need to rip the justice system apart. Every single level, far and wide, short, small, it don't matter. We need to rip it apart. And again, it may take several years just to make that happen. But I think something does need to be done, because if we don't, I fear we won't have a future.
Yeah. Right. But the issue with reforming the police task force is that you still have the concept of the prison industrial complex, which we know white supremacy and white capitalism is completely responsible for. There is no way to really reform it. It just supremacy benefits white patriarchy and white capitalism, benefits not only from police task force, but also from the prison industrial complex, in which we're still saying we want to put people in. I think we need to be more invested in. I had I'm freezing again. There we go. But I had a cousin who spent 13 years in prison for armed robbery. He was out for a month before he had robbed another. And vulnerable, and he felt afraid and vulnerable in the real world. He didn't know how to adapt. He didn't know how to realign himself. He was in prison for so long that that's where he made a home at psychologically.
Yeah.
I've
seen that happen myself.
Yeah, that does happen.
Say that again.
I've seen that that people that have been locked up, they become habitualized to being locked up in prison. So those same minds that they carry into the free world.
Right.
All right. But on to the next topic. Okay. Now, this is a big topic, especially for Rebel. Bottom shaming.
I learned from you, mother.
Oh, man. What do you guys, we have this issue within the community of bottom shaming. Whenever we want to drag and read somebody within the community, oftentimes using their sexual position is a way to throw a dig. Where do you think bottom shaming comes from? Why do you think we do it? What is its origins? Captivating Christian, bottom shaming.
Well, I mean, mainly because as men, it bottom shaming deals more with the feminine energy. And as men first, it's always a dig to deny a man's masculinity and talk about him being feminine. You know, and I mean, personally, I don't have a problem with bottoms at all. I love them.
We kind of gathered that much.
But anyway, no, yeah, that's mainly where it comes from. I think in the community as well as outside the community, we do use it as an insult or something to talk down to. When actuality, hats off to them. They do the most. A lot of them are actually. A lot of them live more in their truth than a lot of us do, just because they're able to be themselves and be who they want to be and go through the process of doing all that is definitely admirable. So I'm all for it. I'm here for it.
Okay. King Payne, you over there switching and dipping and sashaying, bottom shaming. What are your thoughts, darling? Why we do it?
Well, bottom shaming is something that we do in our community when you can't get that boy attention, okay? The only reason you upset and you want to bottom shame is because that boy not giving you the time of day, because quiet is kept. We all bottoms, okay? There's somebody for everybody. I don't care what nobody say. Period to period. There's somebody that we'll all go catching for. Quit playing, okay? And that's the real problem. That's the real problem. And I really don't feel like it's a real issue. It's just some insecurities that we deal with as gay men. You know what I'm saying? We all super confident and stuff like that. So when another man don't give you the time of day, you be like, oh, he just the bottom anyway. Like, girl, he can't handle all of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, he a girl. You know what I'm saying? We sisters. You know? So it's something that we do to make ourselves feel better. Because it's not that we're shaming them. It's just like, girl, you just turned me down. It's like when a straight woman asks you if she gay. You know what I'm saying? It's like, girl, I just gave him, my card, and I was like, girl, call me. And he was like, he shade away like he was never gonna call. So I was like, oh, girl, he ain't nothing but a bottom. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it comes from.
Okay, so let me ask you this, King Payne. So let's talk about like the real shame, because like there are guys who are bottoms who are more reluctant to say they're bottoms and would rather admit that they're versatile instead of that they are the receiver. Like, it does seem like there is some level of like real shame that a lot of bottoms deal with about just coming out and being like, I'm in bottom, as if it makes you somewhat more invaluable or less of a man because you are on the.
A lot of times when you come forward with it like that, it just takes away all of your masculinity. You know what I'm saying? And you kind of want to, especially when it's man on man, that we're attracted to masculinity, whether it's great or little, so you kind of want to lead with your best foot. So people are leading with their best foot, and they're like, I'm burst, when really they know they only receive. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what are you?
Oh, me?
Uh-huh.
I am fully versatile. I like it all. Okay. I like it. I don't discriminate. I don't care if you light skin, dark skin, white skin, purple. If you fine, you fine. Okay. If God took his time with you, I'm gonna let you know. Okay.
I can't wait. Lovely, King Payne.
But you know what? I've taken down a lot of straight men, and most of the most masculine people, the most masculine men turn out to be bottoms. You would be surprised how many men I got here, okay, in my bed that was DL thugs that start moaning like a girl and want to be the top of them. Okay, I'm just saying it happens a lot.
Okay, now another expert on bottoming is Bro J. How you feel about it?
Well, first of all, if I'm not sleeping with you, it's none of your business. So we don't even get into that, because at the end of the day, I really don't care what you call me, but who I'm with is satisfied. So that's my honest truth. And if I'm not sleeping with you or we don't have any sexual relationship, then I don't think it's any of your business. And I
think that it's a shame to be a bottom. Like, do you know that?
You know what? It's a shame that people have to resort to that. I think some things need to be between the person you're with, and that's it. So my thing is, it doesn't bother me or affect me any. So you can call me a bottom or top or verse or anything you want to, unless you sleeping with me. You know, I just don't think that it's any of your business. I stand whole.
Why do you think? But why do you think it gets done? Like, why do you think
I
there's
think
more of a stigma for being a bottom than being a top or a verse?
I think Rebel and I think King Kane and the people, they answered that. I mean, we, you know, even in Roman times when they conquered a group of people, they raped the men to emasculate them. So it's no different. But my thing is, in this day, I ain't fighting no war against nobody. I mean, not like that. But you know, if I'm with somebody, then you know it is what it is. You like what you like. If your preference is that's your preference, and no one should be ashamed of what they like. No one pays your mortgage. No one pays your car note. Not mine, at least. And even if you did, you still have no right. So my thing is this: if I'm not sleeping with you, then it's really none of your concern, and I hold to that.
That part.
Now, to the master bottom on the panel, Rebel, how do you feel?
This girl swear.
Why do we do it?
Listen, I got too.
Not the master.
I have too much dick to be a straight up bottom, so that ain't gonna happen.
Oh my!
So, let's be clear on something. I think that gay men try to make you something that gay men. Oh, he froze again.
Well, go ahead and tell him before he
Go ahead, right.
Honey, go ahead and tell him why he
Go ahead, hurry up.
Because once he else leaves, baby, it's over.
Right.
I think because I was in a situation and it was a turnoff to me because this guy that I met, he said he was a versatile top. Okay, to each his own. But someone else gonna tell me and say he ain't a versatile top. He a versatile bottom. I'm like, okay. So why are you trying to hate on him to make him seem less than because you're saying you knew someone that topped him? We're gay men. There's some fascination with dick. There is, I don't care if you're bottom or top, you're ace. What the hell? Who cares? And I think, let me say this, pure bottoms are almost a rare. People that are pure bottoms, it's like a model that they discontinued. I think that.
Are you serious? Where have you been? Didn't you just
let me say this because most people
live in Houston.
most people are versatile that I've experienced, and you know, people to each his own. Though, who cares who you sleep with?
Yeah,
I don't because you know what? There are drag queens that are strict tops.
Mm-hmm.
So
and trans women who are
trans women titties don't.
Okay, now we didn't see the big dick diva. You know who I'm talking to? Did all the videos wearing the boy snooches out? Okay,
tearing them up,
wearing them low, just guts dug out. But I think that a lot of times,
who's that? What's her name?
I've dated guys that have been.
Don't pay Roger no mind.
I've dated guys that have been on either end of the spectrum because I'm a gay man. I like men. I'm not attracted to trans women or guys like that. But I like, you don't have to be this uber Lil Wayne type of. I don't like thugs. Be a gay man. What your sexuality is, if we get to that point, we'll discuss it then because that does play a role. You don't want to be a top dating another top or a strict bottom dating another strict bottom.
Sword fighting.
That's gonna be a forest fire with those snooches rubbing together. So I think that it shouldn't be bottom shame because it's almost like men devaluing women and saying that if a woman sleep with men, she's a hoe. So you just slept with 3 guys and you're a hoe, but a man doing it, he a stud.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay,
say that question for next time, Captain. Because I see where you're going.
Yes, bitch team.
Right?
I didn't hear you.
First, I think we have to acknowledge that bottom shaming came from our community. We shame each other because there's this secret competition that goes on to who can get the masculine trade. And I think we also have to look at it's an affront to masculinity. Anything that is synonymous with femininity is looked down upon. And I feel as if that's something that didn't start within our community. It was, again, when we look at racism, when we look, if someone tells you for eons and eons that this is not right, this is not okay, in the words of Whitney, we're going to make it anyway. Yes, God. When people tell you that forever and ever and ever, you begin to develop that self-hating mentality, whether you know it or not. So even for myself, that's a strict bottom. I can't say that I was like, girl, that's just the bottom over there. I have to admit that I've done that too. Just because there is that thing within us that we just,
it's almost like you're getting rejected.
You are yourself, and if you are a bottom, if you are feminine, it is what it is. Because like we just talked about, there's masculine bottoms. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So why are we shaming someone for whatever position in life? Because let's be honest, if it wasn't for the bottoms,
feminine tops that I've met.
And feminine tops. So I don't even like the fact that we equate someone's femininity or masculinity to whatever position they are, because that's something that is a myth. You know what I'm saying? I just think, again, in our community, in order to build those bridges of unity that we need to learn to stop shaming each other and just live our best life, honey.
Absolutely. Correct. I agree. I have seen this my whole life, bottom shaming. I have seen people to be like, oh, fuck him, he ain't nothing but a bottom anyway. Or this whole idea of being a power bottom. And let me tell you something. I think a lot of it honestly also comes from a lot of the heteronormative behavior that we emulate because we've only had heterosexuality as a palette for relationships. And so we develop those gender roles even within our community as same gender loving people.
And you also have to look at this too. I'm sorry to cut you off. Even in the Black community, when I've heard stories of young Black men coming out to their fathers, they say, "Well, you're not the one taking dick, are you?"
Right.
You know, so it's like it's embedded in the Black community too. Like, if you're not a sissy, you're not out here breaking your wrist or switching. You know, they're okay with it when it's not feminine.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. And once again, is that misogyny? Is that patriarchy? Is that anti-fem behavior that even same gender loving men inherit and adopt? Now, I just want to say this, you know, I really don't know what the shame of being a bottom is. Do y'all know how good dick is? Do you? Does anybody in the comment section know how good dick is? What is there to be ashamed about as a receiver of some good?
Not even just that, the work that goes into being a professional bottom, honey, to be able to serve cleanliness.
Clean and clear.
If you ever had dick, there would be nothing to be ashamed about, baby. You must have just never had you some good.
Clean and clear. That's all I'm saying.
You don't see women telling other women, "Oh, bitch, you ain't nothing but a bottom anyway." The fuck? You damn skipping, bitch. I'm a bottom. Do you know how good dick is? If you haven't had you some dick, I need everybody to get their social experiment on. Okay, and be the receiver for once, and experience the power and glory thereof. Okay.
Thank you for that PSA. All right.
Oh yeah.
It's like a bullet shut up in my gun.
I'm just saying. Ooh, now that brings me on to my next question. Not to my next question, but we're going to take it there. As someone who, these are all open, proud, same gender loving men on this panel. But you all probably have had the religious and Christian intersection. What was the moment between you and God where you were able to receive the love of God and no longer wrestle with your sexuality? Not as it relates to the public, but how were you able to reconcile your sexuality between you and God? When you thought about what God must think, what God must feel, coupled with the religious intersection, like, what was the moment in your life where you realized you were going to be okay and that it was okay to live in your truth between you and God alone? I'm gonna go to Pastor.
When I went to seminary and learned scripture and context. That's the bottom line. I mean, you know, when you get taught from people who don't know, then you know it's a cycle, and some people just don't want to know. But you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And you gotta know the truth, and you have to do that searching for yourself. And I'm glad that I did. And so now I don't spend the time arguing with people about, you know, their perceptions, because most people proof text and I just don't have time for that. You got to know the word in context. Yeah, and so that's the real deal.
Okay, Rebel Son, when was the moment between you and God where you realized that He accepted you as a master bottom?
This girl right here, niece. You, girl, I'm gonna eat you up, niece, and bitch.
Do I see a shadow in the back of you? Oh no!
Trying it, girl. So
I love you, Rebel.
Right, girl. I think that because I'm not a religious person, I'm more spiritual. But as a teenager, you know, I questioned sexuality, and you know, why was I attracted to guys? And as a young adult, I was like, to hell with whoever doesn't agree with who I am, because I'm going to live in my truth. And if you have a problem with it, if I would have had to get away from my whole family, I would have, because I'm not going to be miserable to make you happy. The problem when people start saying, well, all sins are equal. But first off, that's where you lost me, because I don't feel who I am as sinful. I am who I am. When you're saying, well, God loves people that do this and do that, well, that's your view. My view is I was formed to be who I am. There's nothing that I'm praying about to be not gay, because this is just who I am at the end of the day. So, you know, I've never, as a young teen, an older teen, maybe I questioned that. But as an adult, I was very defiant, and you weren't going to tell me who I was. You know, I've never been part of church like that outside of being a child.
Okay. All right. Well, so you kind of had the liberty of, because you weren't that religious anyway, it really helped you to have a catalyst for self-love and self-acceptance. Yeah,
I mean, because my father went to school for theology, but he is the biggest supporter of who I am, you know, and it's just, I had an uncle that was trans on my grandmother's brother on my father's side, but his mother, my great grandma, was one of these religious Bible beaters. She, you know, my son is, you're not my son anymore. This demon has taken over you, you know, all of that. And she wasn't a very loving great grandmother. She was mean as hell. So I say she's in purgatory somewhere right now. But I think that, you know, I look at gay men that wrestle with that and never come out to their families, or have to they have to go sleep in a separate room when their parents visit to make people think that they're roommates with their partner. You come to my house, if there's a picture naked on the wall, you're gonna see a naked ass picture on the wall. Tell mama to stay home.
Dildo right there on my counter.
Yes, God. It's okay. All right, Dark Phoenix. Official King Payne. When was the moment between you and your Lord? Super dedicated, same gender loving man on the panel. When did you realize the Lord was okay with your dreads and your attraction to men?
It was when I stopped listening to other people and I started seeking the Lord myself. I started reading the Bible myself, and you know, He came to me. And the key is, we're all born with, you know, basic knowledge, like, you know, thou shalt not kill. Like, we know that killing is wrong. Like, you don't, nobody have to tell you that. It's something that you feel. You know what I'm saying? So as far as being gay or anything in life, you know, when you feel convicted, you know what I'm saying? That's when you know that it's wrong. And I start paying more attention to the things that I did, and when I would feel convicted, and He never made me feel convicted or like I should repent for being myself, and that's how I realized that, you know. Me and God, we good.
Okay. The captivating Christian. At what point in your Christian walk did you realize that the Lord accepted you and your versatility as well?
You know what? Well, just like what King Payne said, when I had to come to the realization to know God for myself, growing up in the church, of course, you know, you're taught certain things and you're taught a different way. And then when you learn that for yourself, you know the personal relationship with God that you have, and that my walk with God won't be like my mother's walk with God or my father's walk with God. It's my own walk. And so when I, you know, got a hip to that, and along with some religious education, past, you know, basic Bible stuff and getting really deep into the semantics of the religion and the relation to all the other religions, yeah, it really was like, okay, I got this, and moves right along. Didn't really pay it no mind.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, yes, Tyson, when did you realize that God was okay with you and all your yes, bitch? When were you and God okay with yesing, girl? What happened?
Growing up in the church, I had a messed up beginning to getting to know God, because I was told that he doesn't love us, that we're this abomination that just can't live, right? Once I got out of that particular headspace and I started trying to develop my own relationship with God, and also having the opportunity to read the Bible not once but twice, one at an early age and one when I became a little older, that way I can truly interpret it the way I felt like I needed to interpret it. Once you wake up and realize that the main bulk of the Bible is just a form of social control, and when you really think about God and all his infinite wisdom, he knows you before you're here. And if we are this great abomination, that means it can't be in existence. So the epiphany for me was realizing that, bitch, I'm still here, I'm still queer, and I'm everywhere. So my Lord loves me. Hallelujah.
Oh, man. Okay. I love. Okay.
Where?
Well, I guess this is my turn for when me and God started yesing. Like
2 minutes. Now remember, he got to go to work now.
Look,
okay.
I already told him to just let me know when his time up. I'm off well.
Got to give him the usher finger.
So I was raised in a Christian upbringing too, come from a long line of prophets and prophetess and deacons and deaconess. So Christianity and church was my whole life, okay? And this one, I was 18 years of age. I was having a total mental breakdown over my sexuality. I actually really had a large disdain for God, because I thought God had to have some nerve and some audacity to make me gay, and then to make me responsible for not going to hell over something that I don't recall choosing for myself at any point in my whole living. So me and God, we wasn't, he was seeing me, I was seeing him, we were seeing each other at the time. We was at war. So consumed with this idea of being punished and not having the love of God in my life because I was gay. I pleaded out to God one night. I said, God, you're going to have to tell me something. You got to tell me something. You got the church saying this, the family saying this, coaches saying this. You're going to have to do something, because I can't live without knowing another day. I can't go on without knowing if I'm okay. And about 3 weeks later, I happened to be in my room, in my bed, opened up the scriptures, and I had flipped to this passage in the book of Matthew. And Jesus was talking about a group of men that he calls eunuchs. And he was saying that some men are made this way by other men, some men choose to be this way, and some men are
born this way.
The Bible defines, I think I froze real quick. I froze.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yeah.
You froze a little bit, but you was born. Did you say born?
I rebuked Jay Weiss Jay Wilson's Boost Mobile connection interfering with my high quality, expensive Wi-Fi stream. So we're gonna rebuke Jay Wilson's Boost Mobile connection.
The devil is a lie.
That ain't me. That ain't me. That's that Donald Trump RNC hair you wearing tonight. It ain't me. Okay,
that's the Tiffany Trump collection. That's the Tiffany Trump.
What drives more fun?
Anyways, now, when I had flipped to the back of the glossary, the Bible had said that a eunuch was a political official. I said, well, ain't no woman giving birth to no damn political official, so that's fitting. So that inspired me to go on a bit of, to do some digging. And when I historically and contextually unpack the term eunuch and who the hell Jesus was talking about, when I tell you that thing and set me free, I felt the shackles on my feet break, honey. I felt a revitalization. I felt a rejuvenation all around my spirituals, honey. It came from out the bottom on up out the top of my head. And since then, I've been a proud power versatile. We ain't having no problem. Proud power versatile. So and in those scriptures did me some justice, and that's why I mess with Jesus today. Let me tell you, I don't mess with nobody else in our Bible. I don't give a damn about Paul. I don't give a damn about none of the disciples. I don't care nothing about no Moses. If Christianity just would have gave me a pamphlet on the red writing, that would have been enough for me, because that single simple truth is everything. I feel like everything else in the scriptures actually convolutes the teachings of Jesus. It blurs it up.
That's the devil. Stop you.
That's the devil. That's the devil.
That's the devil.
That's the other disciples.
That's an apostle.
That's the other
disciples to block you up. Okay.
Are we done or are we finished?
Both.
We waiting on you.
Moving on to the next. I did have one more thing after this, but since time is creeping up on us, I'm just going to save it for another show. My last and final question, and I don't want no superficial answer. I don't want no easy bake oven response. I want each one of us to tell a quality that we seriously do not like about ourselves, that we are trying to improve upon or have a desire to. A real bad, negative, self-sabotaging quality about yourself. Something in yourself that you recognize or that you dislike with your whole heart.
Okay, could you start with yourself first?
I sure can.
Okay.
Now we're going to see who the narcissists are right now.
I gotta really think about this.
Oh, wow.
Oh, all right there.
Wasn't you the one that said not giving all these watered down responses? Okay.
Okay. A real negative.
Because I'm sure you don't have a lot of qualities, but we said a negative.
Yeah, a real. Okay. Sometimes I would like to work on. Wait, I gotta really think about this.
Don't act like
how long have you had this damn
Don't
question?
act like your computer that froze up again.
Girl, how long you had this question?
Cal, you ain't
ready early. We got our questions early this week.
Okay, real early.
I don't know. Okay, I think I would like to improve upon not being such a self-proclaimed know-it-all. I think that it makes me come off as arrogant sometimes. I think that it makes me come off as think too much. I think it makes me come off as disagreeable. And I can see how socially, it could create some issues because I am very strong-willed, and I do keep my foot down on what I think, to the point of all consequence and hell breaking loose. I'm not somebody who can really be talked out or into anything, so it can make me rather stubborn on my point of view. So I would like to work on not at least coming. I mean, even if I am a self-proclaimed know-it-all, I would like to at least work on not appearing to be a know-it-all.
Okay.
Jay Wilson.
You know what? Sarcasm and being cold at times. I'm really going to work on that because I am very sarcastic. I think that's how I survived on here. And I can be cold because, you know, when it comes to people being really emotional, I can love it or list it either way. And so I have to really work on that because there are some people in this world that are extremely emotional and that I am not. And I can be extremely, extremely sarcastic.
I
really
can concur, rebel.
That's that know-it-all spirit in you again.
Okay, right.
Know-it-all spirit.
Y'all not gonna do me, do Jesus. Don't do me.
I think I could be cold sometimes toward people, and I could be selfish. So that can be combined to make me kind of shut people off. Like if a guy told me before, you know, I don't think this is working out. He said, because, you know, I'd be trying to get in touch with you and I'm trying to do this. That's like, okay, I agree. And it was like, well, damn, you was just like, it was nothing to me. And I was like, because I don't want to go back and forth with you on it. It's just not worth it. It's like when people are so extra, I'm very dismissive sometimes. And I can be like, okay, you know, we're not arguing about it. It didn't work. You know, let's keep it moving. But that's not a good trait to have, because sometimes people, it makes you become, you know, you're robotic, you know, devoid of feelings. That's not a positive thing to have, you know, be that way. Not just cut people off at the drop of a dime, because I've been accused of ghosting guys, you know, and I think that you owe it to people not to break up with someone through a text message. You know, call a person and say whatever you have to say.
Because not that bad. I ain't gonna break up with nobody in a text message. You did
But
that.
I've never broken up with someone via text message, but I know that I think that I do have to be more personal.
It's not working. Okay, I'm sorry, Rebel.
You know, that's it. I can be selfish and kind of cold sometimes.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, Rebel. That was so cold to me. I'm sorry. That sarcasm again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there it is again. Official King Payne. What type of messed up quality inside of you want to do better at? Which one of your problems you want to let Jesus do?
On period, none.
I guess. Well, all the men be saying that I'm mean, so I guess I could be mean sometimes, unsympathetic. You know, a lot of people think that I'm stuck up, but I'm so not stuck up. I'm not stuck up.
You're really not. You're a sweetheart.
I get offended when niggas ask me for money. Don't ask me for no money. Period. I won't ask you for no money. Don't ask me for no money, and we'll be good.
Man, you can't be wearing all them 5011 chains and talk about I can't ask you for half of the rent money.
Girl, this is
here working it down with the gold and the silver.
This is a year's collect. This is 10 years of collecting. This didn't happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been doing this, and
okay,
I'm not
going to take you to collect that BMW somebody is busting.
Oh Lord, there go that phone again.
Because somebody got a new chair at a fire.
A new car?
Yes.
Yeah, I got a new car.
So the coinage is sitting right.
Oh yeah, my coin is good, but
okay.
Why do I have to share my coins with you? And I feel like niggas make up things when they feel like you got coins, or they start needing shit that they didn't need before.
That's what happens with trade. It's like that usually.
Mm-hmm. You know, they feel like a selfish spirit.
They give you some dick, or you get them some dick, or they feel like y'all got something going on. That's when they start asking for shit and begging for shit. That's why I'm single now. Because after we become intimate or we do what we do, they start asking for money, and I get turned all the way off. And
Okay, well, I can understand how you treat your men, but what about your friends? You telling me that I can't ask you for a third on my abortion money? I can't ask you to go a third on my abortion money.
I wouldn't recommend asking me for nothing if you haven't done anything for me.
Oh my!
You ain't right, official campaign. You
that sound like a selfish spirit.
No. I do stuff out of the kindness of my heart without people asking me for it.
He did send me a T-shirt. You sent me a T-shirt. You did send me a T-shirt and some earphones.
Okay, on period. I do stuff out of the kindness of my heart without people asking. That's what in the Bible it says. That's the only way to be blessed. If you do it from the kindness of your heart. If you ask me for it and I don't really want to do it, I'm not going to do it. You know why? Because I'm not going to be blessed. And I'm into receiving all the blessings. Period to the period. That's just how I do. Like if I genuinely don't feel like that's what I want to do, if I wasn't thinking about it, like if you ask me. 9 times out of 10, if you ask me, I'm probably not going to do it. But if I'm your real friend and I know what you're going through, then if I see that you need something and I got it, I'm going to do it. And you don't have to ask me for it.
Okay, so you telling me that I can call you and tell you that I need to get rid of this baby, and more than likely the Lord will impress upon you to help me go half on aborting this baby.
No. He go to a Pentecostal church and they don't believe in that.
Sit on the toilet and take a dump. It'll be fun.
Only baby I know that you gonna get out.
I would have told you to give me the baby. I said, girl, just give me a baby. I'll take care of it.
Because I mean, I have them. That's a problem.
Well, you laid up with no condom.
You know what? You mute your microphone.
Sit on the toilet and push it
How
out.
did we get here?
Right.
I don't know. Get back to
No.
That's the real the chicken coming out.
captivating Christian.
After the catch me out.
Cool. I've been told I've been mean too. I can be standoffish, and I can be very forgiving. Sometimes too forgiving.
Oh no, we're not going to do that. Forgiving. Yeah, that's off the table.
You said what?
I can be too forgiving.
No, like I can. Like when people have done stuff repeatedly, I can still just be like, okay.
We ain't looking for that tonight, though.
What's the negative?
That is a negative for me.
No, I want you to talk about the qualities that have pissed me off.
So negative. I can be
you don't like to admit stuff.
Could you? It's my turn. Thank you.
See, that's the mean spirit.
There you go. It's not church time yet.
The mean spirit.
So I can be standoffish. I can be a little mean, a little cut and dry.
Nice nasty. A little nice nasty.
A little nice nasty. Yeah, I can definitely do that. Yeah, so yeah, I could work on that, but some people deserve it.
Work on it.
Some people deserve it though, so I can't.
Well, the people who deserve it
need it. Some people need that pressure.
Yeah, some people do, because they be trying it. They be pressing that button, and it was like, don't keep pressing that button.
Yeah, a lot of people need another man to be
this gentleman over here, Mr. YBent TV, because he seemed like he gonna tell it, and he gonna tell it real. Because I'm tired of all this syrup and stuff.
Yes. I'm the only one who answered this question honestly. Yes, bitch TV. Yes, bitch TV.
Okay. Truthfully, and I'm known to bear it all, so I'll go ahead and be honest.
Bear it all.
And this is just in recent days too. I have this messed up way of when I get enveloped in my little mild bipolar or my mild depression moments to where I push people away who just really want to be there for me and help me. But I turn into this loner where I go back like a recluse, and I just don't want to see or speak or talk to anyone. And for some reason, they always take it in a negative way that I'm mad at them specifically. And I'm not really mad at anybody. I'm more so upset of what I'm going through. And I just don't want to invite no one into my toxic world because I'm not one of those people that believe in misery loves company.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
I would be a quality that would piss that would piss me off because I can't stand when my friends get like they become a turtle when they go through shit. I'm like, no, nigga, we ride together, we die together, nigga. Let me up into that shelter of yours. We gonna bear it out together, boo. You ain't going to do nothing by your damn self. So that would totally upset me as a friend. For
I
sure.
just don't feel like I don't want no one else, especially if I know that you're a happy-go-lucky person and you have you're positive. I'm a positive level person.
You don't want to be a Debbie Downer.
Right.
You know, I don't want to mess up the party.
Right. What's your sign?
I'm a Capricorn.
Okay.
Okay, Capricorn.
The last day.
Yeah.
Mm.
Now I need everybody to pull out a piece of paper and a pen.
Oh my God.
Our last and final round of one gots to go.
Oh Lord, I'm glad I carry paper.
I'm just joking. I just had to sit here already.
I love it, honey. Yes. Now, the question is,
I ain't got no pen.
I got my
if
notebook.
you had to go 6 months without one of the content creators on the panel, if you had to go 6 months without their content, there was nowhere to be found. No up. This is a messy one got to go. For 6 months, you can live without this person not being around for half a year. Which content creators content could you live without?
Do they have to be on here? Huh? Okay, he done froze, Lord. Okay.
Out of the 6 amigos, yes.
Well, I'm definitely not gonna say myself. Although I know.
Oh, and we want the chat to get involved too. Chat, which one of the content creators, with the exception of myself, could you live?
No, ma'am.
No, okay.
Could you live without, honey?
Y'all put him. Y'all want to, girl.
Y'all let me know when everybody has deliberated and came to their conclusion.
Done.
I'm done.
I'm so messy.
Ain't
You
you?
know.
Okay.
Are those breasts? Oh no, those are chest nipples. Okay, looking like
Everybody ready?
Cardi B.
Everybody ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna go in chronological order. Captivating Christian.
Jay Wilson.
Oh yeah, because I've been gone before.
Yeah.
Rebel Son. You
want to come up
I
with
told you he a hater. I told you he a hater. I've been telling y'all. I'm glad you finally done brought yourself to confession, Caroline. On out of the light you come. Yes, bitch TV.
Because they say you don't shit where you lay, honey. Myself. Myself. Because I be needing to break, and I'm definitely not about to come up here and disrespect nobody, honey. Okay.
That's a good way. Okay.
Bro,
Well,
Jay.
You know what? I did pick my next door neighbor, my Florida brother. And the only reason why I picked him is because I don't know him. So you know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't have seen him anyhow to miss him. But if I start looking at him now, then yeah. But I would never, ever put any other gentleman's panel who's
girl.
See, I was expecting Jesus to do Passover, because this is exactly why Sodom and Gomorrah was burnt down, for a lack of hospitality to foreigners. You don't do our stranger like that. You don't do our foreigner neighbor like this. And don't rewrite it either, Jay. We going to hell. It's okay. No, man.
I would never put any, and only because
okay, well, you know what? I appreciate the loyalty. At least you're loyal. Official King Payne, who the hell you can go without for half a year?
Well, I picked this person only because I haven't seen any of their content for half a year. I didn't know who they was until today. So the only reason I'm saying this is because I didn't know who you was before today.
The official King Payne.
Let me just say this real quick.
You know what? You from a Sunbelt state. That's why you don't have, because them folk up north don't know. They don't. They'll stab you in the back. Anywho, but why been?
I'm glad that you was on today because I would have hated
what she wrote.
Really, Jay will say nobody stab you.
But Wabin TV, I will be watching you now. So I'm glad that you came on.
Me.
Yes.
Hey,
Yeah.
Florida.
Well, that concludes our show tonight.
Just a brief synopsis of who I am, just so everybody can get into it, honey. Yes, God. Entertainment. I'm formerly known as Yes Bitch TV.
Put it in the chat. Let somebody drop it in the chat. His
Yes, please let them drop it in the chat so you all can.
And I'm gonna leave his information in the description bar as well, you guys. After the show.
I am. I talk about a bunch of social issues. I also do show reviews, web reviews with LGBT community. I also am a co-creator of the Justice League panel, where we do interviews with said LGBT web series people, and we also talk about an array of issues. And I'm also the creator and executive producer and host of the Yes God Roundtable, along with my co-host, the Cat's Meow. So we talk about basically that's just a situation that was created in order to share in our experiences as Black gay men in an effort to create the bridges of unity that are needed in our community.
Amen. And I would have to say I was a guest on one of those roundtable episodes, and I really enjoyed myself. So you guys have to go and check out Yes Bitch TV, because itching for Yes Bitch, honey. So go clock that content, okay? Make it happen. Now, I also voted on this matter too, and it was
Everybody.
I thought that was the only fair route to go.
Oh, really?
With the exception of myself. Well, what do you guys have going on for the rest of the week? What's going on with you, Captivating? Where can the people find you? Because you guys are new to my audience, so definitely tell the people where they can find you, what you give, what you don't give, etc.
You can find me on Cap Hill, talking politics all day, every day. Make sure you go out and check your registration to vote and fill out the census, folks. And that's basically what I do and talk about all day. Now, just FYI, conscious crew, I'm only letting them tell.
Oh Lord, is that
y'all actually going and damn subscribing now, because I don't share no damn subscribers. So y'all stay y'all ass right here. But every now and again, push right on over and get them a click and a view. But don't you damn sure subscribe, okay? You stay loyal to Conscious Crew.
That sound like cult.
That sound like
cultish. That sound cultish.
That sound like hate.
One of my aspirations was to be a cult leader when I was growing up.
Okay, young. I know. You arrived.
You can catch me, Chief Shaman of the Sun Tribe. You know, I do my carpool conversations. I do parodies as well. I talk with my friends about different life issues. You know, being a gay man, and there's different types of gay men. So I'd like everyone to see how we run the gauntlet. So, you know, come and check me out. In the morning on the way to work, I do my carpool conversations. I do my parodies. Now you can go check out a few parodies that I've done. The last night I did actually 3. But check them out and, you know, shine some sun on me. Sunshine, definitely.
Yes, the Rebel Sons. Official King Pain. Crown it up.
Period. Piriana to the period. I'm the official King Pain, and I'm here all the way from the home of the lituation, where we keep it lit. Make sure you guys come and check me out for the latest celebrity content. Okay, come check me out for the mess. I keep the beef going. I keep the shit rocking. You know what I'm saying? I pop my shit. So come check me out because it's lit.
Child, let me tell y'all something about Official King Pain channel, baby. He give the girls hell, honey. So if you want a content creator who be getting, oh baby, you go right on over there to the Official King Pain. The lituation is real. Bro, Jay Wilson, where can the people find you?
First of all, Jay Wilson and our home of the Ride and Lives. We will ride and live with you, but we will not ride and die with you. So I just want you all to know that. And also at my channel, we do political commentary, a little light skater now and then. And I do have a gospel legend coming on for an interview next week. So you all
Andrew Caldwell?
get James Cleveland and Ricky Grundy and Donna Vales and all of those people, you will like this person. No, and this person is really, he's written a whole lot. So when he's on, you all will definitely know who he is. So this is for gospel music aficionados. If you're not, then don't worry about it. But if you want to learn about it, come on over.
Okay. Well, I would definitely be leaving everybody's channel links in the description, you guys. And I just want to say this. The gentleman's panel, what I appreciate about it is that it's one of the only YouTube that can actually do numbers without it having to involve dragging other content creators. And this may be one of the reasons in which why some people claim to find it boring, because it's not salacious, it's not invasive, it's not doxy, it's not oxy. It is real people discussing real and relevant things, and that's exactly what the gentleman's panel is supposed to be providing. Okay, so I just want to shout out the gentleman's panel, okay, for still maintaining through, giving the girls hell, giving them news that they can actually use. I really appreciate you, Bro Jay. This was really a brilliant idea of yours.
And I have a question. How long have we been on Rebel or Captivating? And how long have we been on? Because we've been on for a while now. It's been about how long?
2 hours and 20 minutes.
2 hours and 20
No,
minutes.
no, I'm talking about how long have we been on the air period. Not, I know it's been like 220, but I'm talking about far as our inception. Right. I'm sorry. Let me say that since our inception. Yeah.
It's about to be a year for me almost. So I know.
Yeah. So I would almost say a year some change.
A year some change.
So, we started off with the right intentions, and that's why we're still here, while other people were coming on to just slam people and attack people. But we made a conscious decision that we were going to actually do relevant things and have fun with doing relevant things. Now, I think I am the original member, and Rebel came on, and Captivating was the next, and then King Pain. So even though the gentleman's panel started off with some different people, we're still here. And as long as there are men who want to discuss relevant topics and talk about things like we talk about, whether it's bottom shaming or whatever, we're all for it. I know I give a poker face or a Pentecostal face sometimes, but you know what? This is what we're about. Everybody is not the same. This is why Conscious TV can wear long, luxurious hair, but yet we have Captivating Christian and Official King Pain rocking their locks, and Rebel is rocking his beard and looking real eclectic. And now we have my brother from West Palm Beach coming on and giving his opinion. So we're all different, and we appreciate that. We're diverse.
Rebel, you still.
Go ahead, Conscious TV.
Well, I want to thank you, Bro Jay. I want to thank you guys tonight for giving me your time. I'm glad you guys enjoyed, okay? Every Thursday, we rotate the panel, you guys. So whose channel is it next for next week? Who's coming after me?
Jay.
Jay. Okay, well, we'll be on Bro Jay's platform. You guys know I leave a lot of stuff in the community feed. So when Bro creates that watch page, I'll have it there. You guys can set your reminders, etc. And I want to thank you again, Yes Bitch TV, as my special guest, my brother. You were amazing. I was, finally for once, I wasn't the smartest person in the room, thanks to you.
I appreciate you for having me, and it was wonderful getting to know everybody. Your energy is everything, and like you said, there's a lot of drama out here in these here streets, and it's a comfortable feeling coming to a place where you feel welcome, you can be yourself.
Yeah, I want you to be real smart next week and get that phone stop sticking, okay?
You know I will.
Okay.
You know I will.
You know I will,
honey. You know I will.
Sarcasm.
Jitterbug, picture on a jitterbug.
I will.
Metro PCS, honey.
I'll be there. Metro PCS, Boost Mobile, and all, Bro Jay next week.
Okay, Mint Mobile.
Well, we will see you guys later. Thank you guys for joining us. I don't have a fancy intro, so we just want to shimmy on up out of this building. Love you all. And inside.
Thank you.